Look at those beautiful mountains. Ain't they pretty? They're very pretty. Very, very pretty. Well, hood's up on the old K30, old Project Olden Gray. And I'm actually not in my apartment. I'm actually at my mom and dad's house just north of where I live. And front tires are off, so guess what? We're doing brakes. Well, I know the light kind of sucks right now, but this side I already done off camera. And this side was the side that was causing some problems. And I'll show you what mistake I made on the last brake job here in a second. But if you can see there, I got new calipers, I got new pads. I was going to try to replace the brake line, but it was having some problems getting it out. And this being my primary driver, I don't have time to do other methods to try to pull that out and replace it. Because at this point, I mean, it's so rusted in there. Even line wrenches weren't getting it off, and I didn't want to strip it any further. So when I do the 454 swap, I'm going to replace the hard lines from the proportioning valve to both sides, and then replace the soft lines then, and we go through it that way. But brakes are working right now, so I don't suspect that they're going to have an issue. They'll still work. This side I haven't done. This side I plan on doing, trying to do on camera when my cameraman comes back. But Dr. Frankentruck is not actually helping me with this. I got my roommate with me. He's going to be helping me with the camera work and stuff, so he's got a lot steadier hand than I do. But yeah, this side's not been done yet, so let me go into the workshop here and show you what we got going on. So this is the passenger side caliper and hose, and I'm going to kind of show you guys how to put this stuff on, because I kind of see a lot of professionals, especially where I work at the parts store, customers coming in saying that they got brake caliper leaks, and it's all because of these copper washers here. I'll show you guys what the so-called professionals are doing wrong, and why. I don't know why they keep doing it, but we'll continue on. But the main issue I was having with the driver's side is, look at that brake pad. See how it's stepped? So what had happened is the brake pad is supposed to sit in like this. These notches are supposed to sit up under and are held on by these guide pins. Well, the clip that goes on these, and those of you who are familiar with these JD JB7 brakes, alright, I installed the clip, this side being up. I installed the clip being an idiot, like this, with this portion facing up. And when I installed the clip like this on the new set of pads, and I was fighting it trying to get on, and it wasn't working until I decided to pull it off and flip this clip around. This side here is supposed to go towards the bottom, and the reason being is when I put it up in like this spring portion right here was actually pushing down on the pad, forcing the pad away from the pins, and I could not get the pins to line up, and I was going to have the same issue with the new pads. So by taking this pin and putting it on upside down, more or less, which is the correct way, the spring actually pushes up on the pad, pushing it down towards the top of the caliper here. All right, allowing the guide pins to go in and properly secure this. So this is what had happened: is this side had fallen. This side here come dislodged from the pin and dropped like this, and then this is the actual bottom edge of the rotor right here. So it's only contacting part of the rotor. Now the rotor's fine, I checked it, and the new pads went on just fine, so I'm not going to replace the rotors. But even though this pad's got a lot of life left in it, and I could have easily ran this for another couple more years, that right there is the issue I'm having. So that's why I'm doing this brake job, because that started squealing really bad. And those of you who want to see the outer pad, the outer pad looks fine, a little more worn than the inner pad, but and then the anti-squeal shim, this guy fell off. And then what do you expect from cheap $20 pads from the parts store? So I'm going to hand this off to the camera guy, and I'm going to show you the common problems that the so-called professionals do. Okay, so this is the common type of brake hose that we have on just about every vehicle these days. Older vehicles will have a fitting similar to this that will thread on, and you just thread that on and everything's good. But most vehicles, probably since the late 70s or so to modern times now, will have a similar fitting with a banjo bolt. Now the reason why they call this a banjo bolt is, if you look, they got a hole right there in the center and a hole right there, and allows fluid to pass through the hose around here into this hole and then into the brake chamber. So you pull the plug out. Now I'm not going to be replacing this hose. I'm not going to fight with it. Again, this will all be replaced when the engine's out and the front clips off of it, to give me a lot more room to be able to bend up new hoses and stuff. But the common problem I'm finding is either A, they will take and just put one washer on this side, they'll stick it in, and they'll just thread it in like that. Another problem I see is they'll take both washers, thread it on either the back side or the front side, and thread it on exactly like that, causing leaks. The proper way to do this with this exact type of system, and this is the same thing if you have a fuel system or any other hydraulic system that uses this type, is you put one washer exactly like that, one on the top side, on the outside, one on the inside. It does not really matter which direction the washer goes, because these are crush washers. I put them on shiny side out, shiny side in, doesn't matter. I've put them on in either direction and properly tightened them, and I've never had an issue. But that is how you do that, and then you torque that to manufacturer's specs. These don't torque very tight, even though they look like a stout bolt. They don't torque very tight. From what I've seen on most vehicles, anywhere between 15 to at most 30 foot-pounds, depending on the application. Most heavy-duty, like 1 ton or bigger applications, are between 20 to 30 foot-pounds at most. All right. Smaller applications are between 15 to 20. All right. You don't want to really over-tighten these, but when you tighten these, it crushes those copper washers, creating the seal. All right. That's how that works. So when I go to put, even though I'm using the old brake line, I am going to be putting new crush washers. Anytime you take a bolt out like this, it is actually best to either go in and clean the inside of that out, which there's just the one hole there and the one hole there, blow air through it, cleaner through it. But these are so cheap, they're only a couple bucks. Normal price at the parts store is like at most $5 for a pair of these. They're not that expensive. Anytime you open the system, replace this, and then replace these. These are cheap. They're like $1. All right. So, but I am going to be using the banjo bolt that came with it. I'm not going to use the old one. But so I don't lose everything and I can keep this thing sealed, I'm just going to thread that in like that. Now, if you want to follow me over here, the type of pads I'm using, and yes, it took me forever to find these, is I'm using Wagner Thermal Quiets. For the JB7, JB8 brake codes, that is the part number, MX153. All right. You can also get the 52 brake part number for those. They do sell these in those as well if you have the JB6 or JB5, JB6 brake codes as well. But that is the Wagner Thermal Quiet part number for the JB7, JD7 brake codes. Inner pad, outer pad, I do believe these are ceramic, but that's what I chose to go with because the cheap $20 ones they don't last long and they're dusty, so I'm trying something different. This is the driver's side brake hose I'm not going to replace at this moment in time. And then I replaced these when I did the last job. These are the old slide pins. They're actually fairly new. But I'm going to keep these for spares because they're still in great shape, but the new calipers came with new ones. I didn't know if the calipers came with these, but these are replacement clips, bushings, and seals for that. So it comes with, the new O-rings and the seals and the bushings and shit. This is for both sides, but I mainly bought it for these clips. because the one clip was actually worn out and broken. Normal price for this, and this is the part number, O'Reilly's. That is the part number. If you need this kit, and it's less than 10 bucks for this kit. So, suggest to actually get this with new guide pins. The guide pins, I think, are also about $5-6 bucks a piece. So, and they come as a set for one caliper. And if we want to move on, the next thing I'm going to be doing is master cylinder. Yes, this guy. This is a Reman one. This one goes for about 30 bucks. But I'm going to be replacing that. I'm going to show you how to bench bleed this type of a master cylinder. So that'll be coming in the next video because it's getting pretty late. We got a late start today. This guy here is the old clip. It looks good, but it's not. So expertly catalog that. That's the left side caliper. And here's the boxes for the hoses. If you want the part number, I'm not sure what part number, what side's which, but that's one part number for one side. And that's the part number for the other side. The hoses also do come with new washers. So if you're just going to replace your hoses, make sure you use these washers. And then the real fun's going to start. Brake kit. I've got 2 fresh wheel cylinders, one for each side. There's the part number for one side. There's the part number for the other. I do believe they are identical. They're not left and right specific. I do believe so. But the rear brakes, I don't know when the last time they were touched. I've had the truck for 3 years. I've never touched them. And I've been having issues with the brake pedal. Feeling a little soft and spongy. Not sure if that's... So I'm just going to go through and start with just changing the brakes. But I am going to be changing these guys out. This is the wheel cylinder. So that'll be changed out. And yeah, I've had these parts for a couple of years. I've got a video a couple of years ago when I bought these parts and was getting ready to do the job, but just never found the time to do it. So, you know, life happens. Because they are drum brakes, I don't have the box for the part number. Actually, I think that might be the part number. I could be wrong. But this is a master kit, and I will go through my video on drum brakes and show you what's all in this kit. But this kit, just kind of an overview, comes with everything for both sides. All the springs, all the shoe hold downs, the parking brake automatic actuators, the slack adjusters. It comes with everything. Anytime you do drum brakes, I suggest you buy this kit. These kits are only like 20 bucks. Well worth the money. Alright. This is the rear brake hose. This one I am going to attempt to also replace as well. It's a bit shorter than the other one, than the front ones obviously, because there isn't much travel, but there's the hole that it bolts to the bracket, and there's where the hard lines go in and out, and that goes up to the hard line up on the frame. Again, I'm going to attempt to try to change this one out, and if this one don't work out, I'll reuse the old one if it's not too damaged. That one, if I have to cut, if it is damaged enough to where I have to replace it, I'll just do a video on how I'm doing that, okay? In order to get the drums off, you have to pull the axle shafts out. Alright, so I've got new axle shaft seals. So for the corporate 14 bolt rear end, that is the part number for the Fel-Pro axle shaft seal. I've seen lots of guys just goop on loads of RTV, and that works for a quick fix and stuff. I've seen professionals do it. I don't know why, but honestly, these are $5. $5, even probably even less. I don't know. It's been forever since I bought these, and granted, my price is different. But I think retail on these is like $4.99. Come on, guys, $5. Throw these on. And then the shoes. I'm not going to unbox the shoes. I'll do an unboxing on those when I get ready to do the video. But that's the part number for the 13-inch brake drums. Alright, if you have a corporate 14 bolt with the semi-float axle, it doesn't have axle shafts with these seals. It's the semi-float. Alright, you're going to be running the 12-inch brakes, so the part number is going to be different. These are for the heavy-duty full float with the 13-inch drums. The full floats will always have 13-inch drums. So, but that is what we are doing at the moment. I figured I might even do a quick kind of messy toolbox tour. Alright, as I'm going to have a series of videos, a couple of videos out of me unboxing this just a couple of days before I started this project. So this was a couple days ago at the time of this filming. But I got my tools in it. So again, it's a 5-drawer. It's not real spacious. It's just enough to get me all my basic tools and stuff needed to do the type of jobs that I'm going to be doing in my apartment parking lot. So, but here I have just a variety of, this is my middle drawer. Got my dead blow hammers. I also have my wrenches some of my wrenches in here. This is a really neat one. I'm not sure exactly where I got this. I got this for Christmas, so I don't know where to find it, but this is a really neat wrench. I'm assuming Stanley, so probably Walmart, as I know they sell Stanley, but it's like a vice grip locking adjustable wrench. Adjust it to the size you need, pull that down. Now this thing don't move. Once it's locked into place, this thing will not move. This has been a handy tool, and I've actually kind of enjoyed it. And then just a couple other smaller wrenches. I got my all my channel locks on this side, down in this drawer as well. My line wrenches, my various extensions that I've also acquired, and then my thumb wheel ratchets actually will go up into my socket drawer, which is this guy here. I ain't got much in it. My hub socket, oil pressure sender sockets, my Allen sockets, Torx, things like that. That's pretty much where all this is going. I got my bolt outs. That don't go on. Other tools that I have in here is both my Harbor Freight telescoping, quarter drive, 3/8 drive ratchet. I got my half drive. This is the second one I've had of this guy. I've actually had this exact not this exact one, but one identical to this. I had that ratchet for 5 years before this thing jammed, and no questions asked warranty on it. These are new at O'Reilly's. I've been eyeballing these since we got them. They're only been on the shelf for a couple of months, but nice anodized handles. They're nice and long, so they're kind of like a miniature ratcheting breaker bar. These are actually on sale for the rest of the month, but because the sale ends, I'm not going to give the price. But they normally go for, I think this one's $25. This one's $35. They're 100-tooth ratchets, so very little movement to get them to click for the next one. It's another reason why I got these. And they're a sealed head with a locking head on them, so that way you don't have to worry about your sockets falling off, and you just push the button and boom, they come off. And I've already used these. I actually like them. They're very handy. And then another new tool we had that come out at the same time as those is this guy. Another spring-loaded telescoping actual breaker bar. This isn't a ratcheting one. I have yet to use this. If you want to zoom in, that's the part number. If you want to check out our website. If it'll focus.
There we go.
Alright. This guy I think also goes for right around $35. Alright. I'm just giving them a try and kind of doing some free advertising. Again, since I work for O'Reilly's, I'm not sponsored at all by any means. I paid for all this. Alright, I'm not sponsored by Harbor Freight either. All this I bought with my own all my own money. Alright. Now it would be nice if one of the two or both would sponsor me, but I'm not out begging for it. Alright. And be honest with you, the best review videos come when I actually blow my own money on this stuff and see how it goes. So, other new tools that I bought is this guy here, half drive, power torque, 20 volt lithium ion impact gun, and it's got some few features. It's nice and light, and those lug nuts on my truck torqued to 110 foot-pounds, and this thing broke them loose like it was no tomorrow. This thing effortlessly broke them apart. I'm very impressed by this guy. This guy is actually $125 at O'Reilly's. And just with the quick use I've used it with, I'm impressed by it. This guy goes down here. And I got some of my other bigger stuff like my drill bits. You guys have seen me use these in other videos, and these are about 60 bucks a piece. Both the 3/8 impact and the drill driver. Now the other feature I like about the drill driver is you unlock that, chuck comes off, and now it's a quarter drive. You can put other bits and stuff in it. That's also a feature I like about it. And the old man decided to grace us with his presence for a minute.
And then left.
Bye, old man. So I got a lot of my other stuff in here. A small quarter drive ratchet, socket ratchet set from Craftsman. My cordless battery operated Dremel tool I have yet to use. I'll do a video on that. Digital caliper. Everybody's got to have those. And then my cheap $10 set of drill bits, driver bits. I figured since I'm right here, I might as well clean up. So here's my screwdriver drawer, and I got my test light in here, my scrapers, my test leads, filler gauges, things like that. Brake spoon is all in here. Like I said, just kind of condensing things that I normally have separated in other drawers in my bigger box that I don't have. And then I have, like I said, all my sockets in that drawer, and then this drawer is all my pliers. And then obviously I got the top just all chock full of shit. So, but another handy feature I like about this is I got this tray here. Currently right now I'm using it for rags, but you can use it for other things obviously. And it's bolted to the side. Or this guy is a magnetic piece that I bought separately that you can hold aerosol cans and a few screwdrivers in.
Maybe a few drinks.
You can even use it as a cup holder to put your drink in. Hey, let's test that out real quick. So that way my viewers can know. Arby's, not a sponsor. Hey, guess what? It fits.
Yeah, you can try a pop can too.
Hey, why don't we do that? For those of you guys who like to drink your beer holder. Even though that's Pepsi, again, not a sponsor. Then around this side, another handy thing that they also sell is the nice paper towel rack. Yes, a place to put my paper towels where they're not all getting in the way. Definitely love that. And then I got a large cargo spot in the bottom here that I've got my tap and die sets, my brake line flaring tool, and you can also put other large stuff in there as well. Now let's get to the top here because you've obviously seen that.
Don't forget the handlebar to pull it around.
Yeah, it's got a handlebar and locking casters. That's a good feature to have. Very good feature. Now, again, I don't know what order in which I'm going to release these videos. I did a video series on the construction of this. Made it about halfway through getting this in, and then had to cut the video short. I can't remember exactly why we cut the video short. I think due to battery issues. I think the battery was getting low on my phone.
Yeah. Sorry about the hand in the front of the camera for half a sec there.
So, but this is the finished result. If I release that video before or after, this is going to be the finished result. So I guess we can start by putting stuff back where it's supposed to go. No, in this drawer.
I think we should pause that, clean this up, and then move on to our next subject.
So, yeah, I'll give you a slightly better toolbox tour once I get this all cleaned up and whatnot as part of one of my other videos, so that way you guys can see what a clean and orderly toolbox looks like. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And it looks like all my wrenches are in there, so I'll just toss my wrenches back in here where they're supposed to go. Oh, and I figured since we're right here and got my torque wrench out, this is my cheap $10 Harbor Freight. Now, before you all say it's $19.99 at Harbor Freight, I had a coupon that gave me half off. This was $10 when I bought it. And it's done a pretty good job. I have checked its calibration, and it's off by a couple of foot-pounds, but it does say on the box plus or minus a couple foot-pounds. So it's not really all that accurate of one. I mean, it is to a point, but it'll get you in the ballpark. And honestly, 1 or 2 foot-pounds, unless you're building something for freaking NASA that's going to fly into space, all right, automotive work, you don't have to be that precise unless you're actually building like an F1 engine or something like that. So
Which I actually know a rocket scientist, so... In fact, that was my ex-wife's dad, so...
So, yeah, for what we're doing, a torque wrench like this, if you don't want to go out and blow a couple $100 on a good one, this one will get the job done. This will get you in the ballpark for tightening just about anything on your vehicle, all right? Including cylinder heads and things like that, yes. Because honestly, a couple of foot-pounds plus or minus are not going to hurt your cylinder head bolts. So, but one of the things I notice when I rent out the torque wrench at my work is I will tell everybody how to take care of these things. These are precision measuring equipment and devices. You do not use these to loosen bolts. All right, you will ruin this if you use this as a breaker bar to loosen bolts. All right, this is designed to measure tightening, putting a specific torque value to a bolt so you can get the proper clamping load. All right, so numero uno, one rule, never use this as a breaker bar. All right, I know there are plenty of stuff on YouTube for plenty of channels. This guy is a breaker bar. This is what you use to loosen things. This is a Harbor Freight one. It is 2 foot, or exactly 24 inches from center of the head to the end here. This thing has actually helped me break loose lots of Titan bolts. This is what you use to loosen bolts. This is what you use to tighten bolts. Okay? Here's your ranges in both Newton meters and foot-pounds. This is a foot-pounds duration. I do have an inch-pounds in here from Craftsman. All right, I got years ago. All right, so when you put tension on the spring inside here for a specific torque value, torque wrenches are good in the middle of their range, not at the bottom. This is good from 20 to 150 foot-pounds. So in the middle, between 50 to about 110, 120 foot-pounds actually is honestly where this thing is about good for. All right, at the top end, the bottom end of the scale, they're really not all that accurate. And this goes for all torque wrenches. Doesn't matter how much money you spend on them. That's what all torque wrenches are good for. When you are done using this, you back this down to its lowest value, and you don't want to go past that. The lowest value is 20. I set the 0 on the 20, and then I lock it on the bottom, or if you have the pull sleeve, lock it. But you always lock it at its lowest value. If you take this past to 0 on its 0 value, you're actually going to you're going to loosen the spring too much, and you're actually going to throw the calibration out. I've tested this. So to its lowest value when you are done, bring it down to its lowest value, which is 20, lock it into place, and put it away. You never want to leave this thing with tension on it because that spring is going to be tight, and it's going to get weak over time if you leave tension on it, and you're not ever going to have to keep calibration. So always back it down to its lowest setting before putting it away. Never use this as a hammer, and all torque wrenches that I've ever seen come with some sort of blow molded case like this. Put it in your case, and then put it away. So that will pretty much end this video. I might put this one out tonight, but I gotta do some editing on the videos for putting this together because some foul language and stuff like that. Even though I said a few things in this one, but that one's really bad, and I don't want the PC police on YouTube and stuff to get offended. So those videos actually might come out after this one of the U.S. General Toolbox review here. So. That's pretty much what I got. A couple other things I want to mention. There's another tool that I got. I also did a quick review, but I'm going to do another one for now. Is this guy here? This is the 3H drive electric ratchet. Uses the same batteries as the 3H impact and the drill driver, so they're interchangeable. And this thing's got some guts to it too. It doesn't have the guts. My brother's got the Milwaukee equivalent to this. It's a bit longer, bigger battery, and that thing produces a lot more torque than this thing does. But for the average DIYer in the garage, this will do a pretty good job. And again, all these go for about $60 to $65. These three, and then the big one's $124.99. So they have the indicator there, so it tells you how strong the battery is. All three of them do. And then another feature that I like of the big one is it's got a torque setting on it that when you put it in loosening, it stops. When it stops feeling tension, I pull the trigger, it spins for a second, and then it stops when it doesn't feel any tension on the head. That's actually a nifty feature I'd like, because when I broke the lug nuts loose, I used that feature. It broke them loose, backed them down, and still kept the lug nuts on the studs until I got them all loose so the tire didn't fall on me. So that's a nifty little feature. I don't know if the Walts or the Milwaukees or the Nikitas have that type of a feature. If you guys have any of the big name brand ones that I mentioned, even the Hitachis and the Cobalts and, you know, those ones, even Huskies, any other big name brand that you can buy at the big name stores and stuff, let me know in the comment section below if they have a feature like that, because I've never seen any of the name brands have a feature like that before. Let me know if they do. Other than that, that's pretty much what I'm working out of right now. I mean, a lot of the automotive YouTubers are doing toolbox tours, so I figured I'd kind of do one based on what I got here. So I'm just going to call it here. That's all I have for today, and we'll get back at it tomorrow when I start doing the master cylinder replacement and the rear drums. There's one thing I haven't seen are good videos on the square bodies on there yet. Now, it doesn't mean I've looked, I haven't seen any decent ones, so I'm going to try to make a decent one. And if there is decent ones out there showing the work with good, accurate information, link it in the comment section below. So, other than that, toodles.